Hello and welcome to Dommy Tries This. I hope you brought your cuppa. Today's coffee mug is a 50th happy birthday mug from one of my daughters. Can't remember quite which daughter gave it to me. It's a few years old because this old dragon is old. I say that all the time, but you know what? We all get older. And I think I look pretty damn good for my age. Anyway, today's tea is raspberry matcha. I really like the vanilla matcha. I had tried that one time, so we're finally trying the raspberry. Let's give this a sip and see how it tastes. That's pretty good. The raspberry isn't very strong, but it is there. I like that. I like that. Okay, so this matcha thing, I waited way too long for. So today we're doing something a little different, but before I get started, we do have some work going on in the house, so you're going to hear some noises in the background, for which I apologize. And I may have to break somewhere in the middle to accept the work order or whatever. The house, the apartment, the cruddy apartment that I hate. Anyway, they're doing some cleanup in the laundry room, so it's going to be things being moved around and stuff. Hopefully it won't get too noisy. It might, but hopefully. So today we are doing something a little different. I'm not showing off any makeup. I am going to be doing an actual tag that's going around on YouTube. I saw this on Spooky Lips and Fat Hips, Lacey's channel, and she tagged everyone. So I'm considering myself tagged, even though she didn't specifically name me. And that tag is the Spill the Tea tag, which talks a little bit about how you feel about where your channel's at and what's going on. So I have the questions written down, and I will read the questions and then I will answer them. I've actually skimmed through them a little bit, but I haven't exactly formed my answers. I have general ideas, but I haven't really formed my answers. We got a lot of stuff going on right now. Other things are happening in the kitchen. No surprise. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started. So the first question is, which video were you afraid to post on YouTube and why? I'm afraid to post almost all of them. Still being new to this, I've had a lot of people say, you look so comfortable. Trust me, I'm screaming inside. Never been really a public speaker kind of person. So yeah, every time I post a video, and it's a little weird to be, talking to a camera or a phone in my case, and not having kind of a give or take response. But the one that I was probably the most afraid to post at this point in time is my first one. Like I said, not a public speaker. I knew the quality was crap. I mean, the quality is still kind of crap. I mean, compared to, people with professional equipment, I have to use a small phone and my whole setup is pretty much finagled and yeah, it's MacGyvered. But that first one I was the most nervous about, and just getting it done, I think, was an accomplishment. So, and then posting it was like, I did it. And it has gotten easier as it's gotten along, as I've gotten a little bit more, I don't want to say comfortable, because in some ways I'm still uncomfortable talking to a phone. I know that people are watching and stuff, and a lot of people do respond, or a few people respond. So I do know that there is some give and take, but when you're initially filming, it's a little just odd to be talking to a phone and not having any real feedback, immediate feedback. So having to wait sometimes is a little weird. But it was that first video that was the hardest and the most scary thing to do. It's a whole new world to this. For me, doing this particular thing. And I knew I was just doing it just for fun as a hobby. It would be nice to reach 1,000 and to get monetized. It would be nice to reach 1,000 and get qualify for programs where you can get stuff from Octoly and stuff like that. You have to have a certain number of followers for that. But in general, it's mostly a hobby, and I'm not really expecting that much out of it. Yeah, it was just the first one was the scariest, I think, because like I said, it was just so new to me, and it's a little harder with each, it's a little easier with each video, I should say, but it is still got that level of how is this going to be received, and I have to keep in mind that it is a hobby, and how it's going to be received isn't really the biggest deal for me. It's how proud I am of whatever I'm producing at the time. As your channels grows, do you find it more difficult to stick to your original opinions? No. We all change opinions over time. Okay, so the work's done. Moving on. I've raised opinionated dollars. I can't speak because I'm an opinionated person. I don't think my channel growth affects that. I have had, I do think that we have to accept that people can grow and change their opinions over time. I have had it happen on, as a writer, I have been a part of writer groups and writer forums, and I would sometimes post an opinion, and then later I would post something that was possibly contrary to that opinion, and you get hit with, well, but you said this before. Well, you know, we learn and grow, and sometimes we see things and go, you know, now that I look at that and think about that, that's not right. Or like in the makeup community, I could sit here and go, you know, I'm not impressed with, say, It Cosmetics. I've only tried one item from It Cosmetics at this point, but you know what? Actually, a better example would be Too Faced. I have tried several things from Too Faced. Not been impressed with any of them. So right now, for me, Too Faced is not a brand that I'm particularly enthusiastic about. Not a brand that I'm going to jump on. If people ask me what I think of them, I'm going to, they're okay. Nothing that I've gotten has done well for me. And that's my opinion. But sometime in the future, I could get something from Too Faced and have it blow me out of the water, and my opinion would change. And a lot of times people just don't, they would sit there and go, I'd be like, so Too Faced has come out with this and it's great, but you didn't like Too Faced. Well, yeah, that's because that was based on everything else I tried. This thing is fine. I think we have to give people that opportunity to change and to grow and to think about things and to get new information, and to be able to adjust their opinions accordingly. However, my channel growth has nothing to do with that. Is it possible that someone's going to change my mind about something? They're going to give me a different perspective? It's possible. But again, it has nothing to do with the channel growing, or, you know, that whole thing, the growth and the number of people making me want to, say, water down my opinions or be less opinionated or want everybody who's visiting my channel to like what I have to say. No, that's not, I don't see that happening. That hasn't happened. Mind you, I'm not at, you know, Lacey has, you know, 2,500 subscribers. I barely got 200. I don't even have 200 yet. So that's a big difference. And it's quite possible I could get piled on by a bunch of people and finally have to go, okay, well, back off. But my opinion is my opinion, and I've just don't see that happening. Not that way. So the channel growing does not make it so it's more difficult for me to voice my opinion. It doesn't change my opinions. My opinions are my opinions, and I'm very vocal about them. For example, the tarte thing, I've had people tell me the whole tarte thing is blown out of proportion because there's so many other companies. Well, yeah, and we learn and grow. And with the tarte thing making us more aware, guess what I've been doing? I have been trying to find foundations and like BB creams. The BB cream I'm using today is one of the ones that has more shades than most other BB creams. So I do have used that to try to learn to back up what I think. You know, if I mean, Tarte is about to expand their Amazonian clay. I would like to see them expand some of their other stuff. I'm really hoping that they have learned their lesson and that at some point I can sit there and go, Tarte's back in. At this point, we've got one expansion going on. I can't say that yet. But I've had people tell me that that whole thing was just blown out of proportion. Well, that tells me that possibly you're not a person of color who has to worry about that kind of thing. That subtle racism isn't a problem for you, or you don't even see it as racism. I don't know what you see it as when people of color, and really, really fair-skinned people, to be honest, get ignored, or are placated with, oh yes, we've added 2 more shades for you. I mean, it's ridiculous. So I still hold my opinion that that was a racist action by the company, and I still hold my opinion that at this point in time, Tarte is not a company I'm going to be buying from until they change their tune. And hopefully that's happening, but we'll have to wait and see. That's my opinion. That's going to stay my opinion. And if somebody else wants to think otherwise, that's fine. They can go ahead and think otherwise. But I'm entitled as a person of color to say, you guys chose to make us an afterthought. And as a result of that, I'm not buying. I'm going to encourage other people to not buy until you show us that that's not how it's going to be. And so, yeah, I've gotten told that that's not an opinion I should have. Well, it's the opinion I have, and I'm entitled to it. And my channel growth and people coming and telling me that I shouldn't have that opinion has not changed it. So moving right along, since we've kind of gotten a little off topic there. Someone leaves a shitty comment not related to the video. Do you delete it or respond? That depends. I've done both. Generally, I try to be polite. I generally try to thank you for your opinion and thank you for stopping by. But sometimes some people are really rude. I am not going to tolerate being called names. I'm not going to tolerate racist remarks. I'm not going to tolerate hate speech. There's a whole lot of things that I will not allow in my comments, and stuff like that will get deleted. And some of it will get deleted without even a response. And people who post like stuff like that get blocked. But I've also had, like really recently, I had someone tell me to stop cluttering up the beauty feed with my stuff. I don't get a whole lot of this and that. And it was just, they're entitled to their opinion, but honestly, if you don't like it, don't watch. And that's what I told him. I just said, okay, so you don't like what you're seeing, then you don't need to watch it, but thank you for stopping by. I don't see a point to returning hate with hate, trolling the trolls, anything like that. I don't see a point to it. And in all honesty, whether you leave me a positive comment or a negative comment, or you like something or dislike something, you're still interacting on my channel and helping me in my channel. So it's only when it gets really bad and people are being outrageously cruel or racist or hateful or anything like that, that the comment will get deleted and the person will get blocked. So yes, I have done both. I will continue to do both as according to whatever I'm seeing in the actual comments and the attitudes behind it and all of that. Finally, how do you feel about your channel currently? Are you happy? Are you not happy? Every time I try to start this again, Sora has to scratch and jingle her bells. I'm content, which may sound weird, but when I've started my channel, I thought I'd be lucky to get maybe a dozen friends from my Facebook page, or, you know, on Messenger, people that I associate with on a regular basis. And like I said, I thought I'd be lucky to get that. And I thought, you know, maybe half of those would be family. Or very, very close friends from, you know, like that I've known for ages, who would subscribe just to support the channel, not necessarily because they were going to watch it or anything. So to be almost at 200 is amazing to me. I've been hovering around the 190, 200 mark for almost since my giveaway, my 100 subscriber giveaway, which is fine. Would I like to grow? Yes. Yes, I would, actually. I would like to grow. If I don't grow, though, as I've mentioned before, this was started as a hobby. I don't see this as ever becoming a moneymaker for me. I'm not dragynettes. And I've obviously not had the explosive growth of some of my friends like V or Lacey or some of the other new ones that have came out right about the same time that I did, and then just their channels have just bloomed. I don't have that bright bouncy personality, I guess, that brings all the viewers to the channel. As an older lady who has been through shitloads, lots, I think, you know, I used to be a little more wild and crazy, but time seems to have mellowed that out. And I think my personality just isn't suitable for everybody. The way I do things just isn't suitable for everybody. There's a lot of things that I don't do that a lot of the bigger channels do. And that's going to slow my growth down. It's going to slow my growth down. Just my particular personality is not going to mesh with everybody. So yeah, would I like to get bigger? Yes. Do I expect to get bigger? Maybe. But for now, I'm content. I'm not unhappy. I feel good about what I've been doing. There are things that I would like to change. I'd like to get a better camera. I'd like to get a better setup. I'd like, you know, things to make it better and easier to watch my channels. My channel, not my channels. I do have a private channel, but it has one video on it, and that one video tells everybody to come to this one. So, I would like to eventually bring in some of my other stuff that I like to do. I like to bake. I like to cook. I like to do other things. And unfortunately, with the setup I have, I cannot do that. I do not have the way to set up a camera or anything so that you can watch me do what I'm doing. So there are things that I would like to do to improve my channel, but for what I have and where I am and compared to where I started, I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty pleased with how far I've come, and I look forward to growing and getting better and doing more in the future, hopefully. But I've learned that sometimes you just have to be content with where you're at and let the growth happen as it's going to happen. It's kind of like one of the things I kind of learned on the weight loss journey, which I'm technically not on anymore. But that was, you cannot work on yourself out of a place of hate. You have to work on yourself out of a place of loving yourself and being happy with where you're at, being content with yourself, understanding that things like your weight are not the end all be all of who you are, and also don't define you, while at the same time going, because I love myself, I'm going to improve. I'm going to make myself better. And for me, that eventually translated from weight to health. So that's my journey that I it's another one of those things that I'd like to share with you. I'd like to share doing my lifting and stuff like that, and I just don't have the setup to do any of that. So I am pretty pleased with where I'm at. I'm really hoping that at some point that I can get what I need to continue to expand what my channel does and has on it and expresses. And I do hope that I continue to grow as a channel. But you know what? For where I started to where I am now, yeah, I'm pretty pleased. I'm pretty pleased. So we're supposed to tag someone, and I know that she does not do these kinds of videos. She's mostly an unboxing channel. But I'm going to tag V of V's Views and ask her to do the spill the tea tag. You know, maybe she can do it at the beginning of or at the end of one of her unboxing videos, or she can do it in one of her lives or something. So V, you're next. I want you to do the spill the tea tag next. And as for the rest of you, I hope you like what you've seen, and I hope you'll come by again. Please subscribe. I would really, really appreciate it if you would, if you're new to our channel. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you know when I upload. And in the meantime, if you do come back, I hope you bring your cup of tea. That is really good. I like that the raspberry is just really light. It's delicious. Bye.